Good morning, fam, and happy Wednesday to you. This is Dr. Tommy Pringle coming to you again with another work week, inspirational and encouraging message for today. On yesterday, we talked about the importance of truth and transparency and how you can't fully address and correct the problem at the root unless you know the true cause. Some leaders get caught up in not being honest and fully transparent due to potentially hurting someone's feelings in the process, or potential backlash from exposure. But the more transparent that you are with your team or your family or in your relationships, the better off you'll be. Today, we're going to keep along the same lines, but focus on discussing truth and transparency against your neighbor. And we'll be coming out of the book of Exodus in chapter 20 and lifting up verse number 16, where it reads, "You shall not give false testimony against your neighbor." There are going to be times and have been times when we may not actually care for our neighbor. But because of who we are and the God that's on the inside of us, we still must love our neighbor. Which means because of our integrity, we must still be transparent and truthful with our neighbor as well, when also providing information on and communication about our neighbor when asked. Some have faced or been faced with the temptation of providing false information about their neighbor, which can also be considered a coworker as an example. But just because they don't care for them or their character, or because our neighbor may have lied on us in the past or passed along false information about us, that does not mean that we have to pay back in return what they dealt unto us as a bad hand on purpose. People are going to act based off of what's on the inside of them and their intentions, but their intentions are going to be driven off of their motivation. And their motivation is going to be driven off of what they desire or have a love for. If they desire to be where you are and their moral compass is broken, their intention may be to go after your position by any means necessary, even if it includes passing along false information about you or lying on you. But we, being children of God, are instructed not to give false testimony against our neighbor. So since our Father is truthful and transparent with us, we must do the same, because God the Spirit dwells on the inside of us. So I encourage you today not to pay evil for evil and pass along false information about your neighbor just because you don't care for them or because they passed along false information about you. Always do the right thing by God, and He will reward you. Allow that to resonate in your spirit today as the Lord continues to shape and mold you into the Christian leader that He called you to be. I love you with the love of the Lord. Be blessed this week.